Interior video for 2233 Lantana Drive in Melissa. We're going to start in the kitchen this morning. And we're going to start with the garbage disposal is locked up, so when you turn it on, you can hear it's just in locked position, doesn't run, needs to be freed up and tested. The dishwasher needs to be able to complete the install and be tested, so it's not plugged in, it has no water. The drain line is hooked up already and in good shape where it belongs, but we still need to get water to it, that's why it's unplugged. As far as the install goes, the interior looks good, it's tight in the cabinet. The rest of that is fine. As you can see, we've got blue tape marked, oven's been tested, microwave's been tested, blue tape all through here. We get to our cooktop. We have a damaged filter. This filter is bent there and there, so that needs to be replaced. We're also missing the filter lock screws, which go into that little hole right there, and that's what holds that lock in place so that those filters don't drop out unintentionally. Asking for some caulking around the molding, touch up around all the nail holes, all those kind of things. Our cooktop was tested, everything works on it. However, we do have one small issue. This right rear burner, when it's lit and on, when you go to turn it off, it sticks right there and you have to push pretty hard. As you can see, the rest of them turn right off with no problem. This one gets hung right there, so that needs to be adjusted. On the cabinets underneath, we need to adjust the fit on the right side cabinet. You can see the cabinet doesn't seal properly. That'll take us out into the living room area. So we have some tape on the walls. There's still some other stuff that needs to be done, but until they get in here and finish caulking and get all the crews through here, I wouldn't do a final tape until that's all been done because there's going to be more damage to the walls. So in the living room, the right window, has a gap. That window rattles. If we go to a different window on the other side, you can see that's tight. This window is not. The screen is also bent. Let's see if we can get a good photo of that. I know the glare is there, but you can see that screen's bent right there. And then we also have some damage to the frame right there where it's bent and has been creased. So this window needs to be adjusted, replaced, whatever it's going to take to fix that. Coming back out of the living room, X's on the floor indicate there's something wrong on the ceiling that we're trying to point out. So for example, way up there on the ceiling, next to the vent, there's a mark. We're trying to tell them we want that fixed. Got items like paint that are marked all across there. These two outlets that are in your dining room area, going to both in the same shot, there we go. Those are GFCI protected outlets, it is required. And we need to get labels on those just so that if they go out, it reminds you that there's a breaker that's GFCI. We go to our back door. We've got a couple issues with the back door. We're missing the door stop. There are plugs like that go in this seal. We're missing two of those that need to be put in. And then we're gonna ask to have this seal replaced because it's covered with paint and damaged. They haven't finished with the alarm system yet, so we still have wires hanging at the door. That's outside our scope of inspection, so that'll be done. The window to the right of the back door, that left latch needs to be adjusted so that it'll properly latch. It doesn't want to get to the final spot. This one latches just fine. Entering into the bedroom, we've got some shortcut boards, overspray paint on the floors. Entering the master bedroom, put X on the floor. Go to the right window. The right window is missing its screen, and we need to adjust the latches to make sure that they easily latch in place. So we're all good to go there. we're going to come into the master bath. We have a note right at the door that's saying caulk all the baseboards. So when you look at the baseboards, you can see the large gap at the tile. So tile and baseboards get to be caulked. So they may not do anything about this, but this is kind of one of my pet peeves and an irritant. This switch controls the light over the shower, but you notice the vent doesn't come on. When we turn on the main lights, oops, right there, that's when the vent comes on. So that means anytime you have the big lights over the sink on, that vent is on. We prefer to have it set up where that vent comes on with the shower light, because that's when you're gonna need it, is when that shower's running. So see if we can get that changed over. In our toiletry room, once again, we need to caulk baseboards. And then that's a tape and bed line we're asking to have fixed. And then our vent on the ceiling here is not working when the switch is on. So that needs to be addressed as well. At the sink, everything works. These knobs are fairly loose, so we're gonna ask to have those tightened up. Got some other damage to the walls. Going to the master closet, there's a note on several of the closets that say closet rod securing screws. And what we mean by that is, as you can see, there's a screw here that was left behind when these were painted that is for this rod. And it's designed to hold the rod in place so that when you lift something off of there, the rod will dislodge and come loose like that. So any place that has a bracket like that needs to have that securing screw installed so that everything will stay in place and won't come loose. We're missing a closet rod there, short piece. So all of these need to have the screws put into them to make sure that they're secure. So it takes care of that. We're gonna leave the master. One more thing in the master, we have a cracked tile right here in the corner between the entry door and the shower. You can see the corner is cracked there, so that needs to be replaced as well. Everything else is cosmetic. All right, we're gonna start heading out to the main part of the house. Through the dining room, we're to the hallway. This closet needs a door stop installed. There's a spot for the door stop, but it has not been installed. So need that to happen. Coming around to the downstairs bath bed combo. The bedroom door is not in place yet, it's missing. There's no door hardware. So this door needs to be installed and tested to make sure it fits properly, closes and latches. Looks like these baseboards were pulled off of the walls in here because we've got some minor damage that needs to be addressed. These windows are okay. Nothing going on in that closet. Come around to the bathroom. And basically, in this bathroom, all we need to do is caulk the baseboards. Everything else in here is working. It's just cosmetic. So, get some repairs to that, but the baseboards need to be caulked. The vent comes on when the light is on. All on the same switch. There's only one switch. Coming around to the front door. So the front door's got several things going on. We have no door stop again. It's been removed for paint. Just hasn't been replaced. It's not laying on the floor there, so that needs to be installed. The top left of the door is pretty loose. These 8-foot tall doors have a tendency to do that. They just need to be adjusted so that when the door is closed, it properly locks and then the door doesn't rattle. The wrought iron that's on the door fixture is not tight, so it rattles. That top one right there is rattling. And then the threshold on the exterior here, between the brick and the metal, that needs to be caulked as well, otherwise it'll allow water to penetrate through there. So we're looking for caulking there. Come around to the laundry room. The entryway has not been finished. Doesn't appear as though there's going to be a door. It's just going to be an open entry, I guess. But if there's a door missing, you can we're just going to put on there it needs to be completed so that that can be done. And then when we come into the laundry room, this door is completely off the hinge, missing screws. So the door does not properly close, needs to be repaired. Washer dryer connection, everything's in good shape. We have the new updated 4-plug dryer connection. So if your dryer is more than a couple years old, you just want to make sure it has a 4-prong connector. Otherwise you can change the cord. Vent is working. Once again, it's hooked directly to the light with one switch. So there's no option if the light's on, it's on. This door, most important door in the house, this is a fire barrier door. This door should close and properly seal, and it has automatic closing hinges on it. When it's properly installed, when you let go of this door, it should automatically close and latch, and that is to protect the rest of the house from the garage, which is considered a high fire area, mostly because of our own car that has its own heat, fuel, and ignition source. So we want to protect our house from the garage by keeping this door closed and latched at all times whenever possible, including when you're bringing in groceries. Opening and closing it in between trips, kind of a pain in the backside, but it can save your house in case of a fire from your car. Stairwells, cosmetically, you can see, need a bunch of work. There's stuff that still needs to be touched up. We're probably still a little bit early. Stuff is basically functional, but there's a lot of little nitpicky stuff wrong that would have been taken care of during their final punch, and we wouldn't have ended up with this much blue tape typically as a result. On even the railings that are split and not fully stained. Got some loose carpet in the corner of the top of the stairway landing, so that needs to be done. This is a tempered window. It is required because of where it is. Zoom in and see if you can see that writing right there. I know it's probably hard to read because it's usually backwards, but that tells us that that is tempered glass, meaning that if that glass were to break because you tripped down or up the stairs and hit it, it would shatter into tiny little pieces, hopefully not cutting your artery severely because of a large jagged piece of glass. Top of the stairs, we're going to turn left and go to the top landing. We got the first bathroom here. We just need some caulking at baseboards and fixtures, and then all the cosmetic stuff we have marked there, but everything's working. Light comes on, fan vent comes on with the light one switch once again. Our hot closet, we're going to recommend that there's a hinge stop put on this. A lot of times they'll say no, but it is a good addition for you if you want to put that on yourself to make sure that that knob is not always constantly banging into that door and tearing it up. So our upstairs landing bedroom, this door stop is in place, but it's missing the little protective rubber end, so we need that on there so the door doesn't get scarred up. And then we go to this window. We need to adjust the right latch, and then unless they have a city exemption based on the location of this window, it should be a tempered glass window because of its level. So we see no markings that indicate that that's the case. So we'll question that with the builder and see if we can get you a valid answer, or if he'll give you a valid answer. So we're going to go back down the upper level stairs to our game room landing. Here we are missing a cover for that outlet. It's just open and exposed to the wires. From the upstairs landing, if we look at the window over the front door, we're going to ask that the under the window and the sill top be fixed. So under the window you can see there's some damage. And then if I can, you can see the sill top itself just needs to be painted and finished to make sure that we get a nice clean edge, since that is able to be seen from upstairs. Walking over towards the Jack and Jill setup of the bedrooms. Stop. We've got a notation we're going to put on that the attic stairs are very stiff and difficult to pull down and put up, and that the heater did not fire. So we were able to run the cooktop long enough to run gas through the system to get it to fire off. So that's all good. However, the heater cycles off on a safety feature and has not been properly bled. Just like we have no hot water at any of the fixtures, because although they got the meter installed, they didn't take the time to bleed the line and fire the water heaters or the furnaces or the cooktop to make sure that everything would come on. Gas at the cooktop is easy enough to bleed. You just have to leave it on with the igniters going. We got that going. But the safety feature on the furnace and then lighting the water heaters by us is not allowed. So upstairs, left, I think this would be the west bedroom. We are missing the attic door hatch here, so there needs to be a safety door put on that. That attic area is technically set up for access over the master bedroom only. It's not for any utilities. Some small decking, and you could use it for minor storage, but just be cautious of the area as there is not much support there. Windows look good. Some minor things. You got X's on the floor for stuff that needs to be repaired. You see the attic door is very dirty and needs to be cleaned. Coming around, upstairs thermostats here. Upstairs bedroom in the back or facing the front of the house. We have no hardware on the door yet, so that all needs to be put in. No hardware on the closet. Closet rod needs their screws. Windows. The screens are here, but they're not installed. So those screens need to be installed. And the right window has a damaged seal. You can see the seal laying out there where it's been pulled out of the window and is just laying on the ledge. So it needs to be repaired or replaced. And then that brings us to our upstairs bathroom. Once again, we're missing door hardware. We need caulking at the tub and fixtures. GFCI works, and your vent, once again, is hooked to your main light, so it all comes on at one time. Don't really have a choice with that. So that completes the inside. We'll pick up on the outside next. Thanks.